following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
What I'm about to show you is arguably the biggest story in the world right now, in my opinion, but it's being totally ignored by the mainstream media. Of course it is. They don't want you to know about it because it will upend the global world order.
It's Brother Iran, and I just wanted to make a real quick video for you guys. For years we've always heard about a New World Order. They've made movies about it. They've written books and articles about it. It's always been the topic of discussion on television shows and just different areas throughout society. Some people think it's a Illuminati conspiracy, but I'm here to tell you that the New World Order is real, and not only is it real, the New World Order is here. Now, some of you may not understand what I mean by that, but let me break this down for you really quick. If you don't know what BRICS is, it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South America. They're a coalition similar to what's going on with NATO. They've united together. And this is going to be the new world power. Not only will they have the military might, but they will also have the best finances to support a war. Because war is, nobody wants to say this, but war is inevitable. They're going to have the best finances to support a war. Because guess what they're doing right now? They're encouraging everyone to get rid of the American dollar. So what happens when people oblige and they get rid of the American dollar? Of course, we're already experiencing inflation, so inflation gets worse, but guess what? The dollar eventually becomes useless. It won't mean anything, you won't be able to use it, and then our economy will collapse. And once our economy collapses, we become weak, right? This is a strategy. This is a great strategy of what they're doing. They're literally trying to weaken the American economy, because when you're broke, you can't really afford to go to war. So even if you do go to war, you can't sustain the war. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose. 9 times out of 10, when you're fighting powers like Russia, China, who people are underestimating, you're probably going to get crushed, right? They say things like this in the street. It takes money to go to war, and if your money means nothing, how can you match up against these other countries who are going to have a financial advantage over you? So we're told to be watchmen, man. So we're supposed to be paying attention to these current events that are taking place, and things are getting really interesting. Another thing I would like to add: China was actually able to help negotiate a peace treaty between Saudi Arabia and Iran. These two entities have been at it for a long, long time, but now they have a peace treaty. Peace agreement is in place due to China. So China is getting a lot of people and on their side. They're rallying a lot of people. They're galvanizing a lot of people to say, hey, you know what? We're going to ride this out with you. Because guess what? Everybody seems to be sick of the so-called bully America. People have had enough. So they'll rather join, even there, you take Saudi Arabia and Iran, they'll rather join their enemy to defeat America. That's how serious it's getting right now. That's how crucial it is. So I just want you guys to be aware. Don't think that the New World Order is just something that's made up. The New World Order is here, man. Russia, China, they're here, man. I'm gonna leave you with some clips to watch so you can get a better understanding of what's going on if you haven't been aware of what's going on. And I say to you and everyone's listening, please like, share, and subscribe. And please try your best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Shalom.
Show you is arguably the biggest story in the world right now, in my opinion, but it's being totally ignored by the mainstream media. Of course it is. They don't want you to know about it because it will upend the global world order. But first, the U.S. just announced they're getting ready for war with China and Russia simultaneously, because we can't just do one without the other, right? See, this is what happens when people start to lose power. They get very dangerous, and the U.S. is quickly losing power. This week, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin announced their new 2024 military budget, which aims directly at China. And get this is unbelievable. It includes a 40% increase in spending to attack China. The Pentagon recently said China is, quote, the most comprehensive and serious challenge to the U.S. national security strategy. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin are about to completely alter the international power structure and the monetary system. This is why they're getting ready for war. No other reason. The biggest story in the world happened this week in Moscow, and your mainstream media ignored it. This week, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin signed 14 different documents in their face-to-face meeting. The biggest had to do with trade and currency. It's perhaps the biggest story in the world right now. National security is under attack because China is becoming an economic superpower.